Hi guys! It's been a really long week and a really long weekend, but I decided to keep going with the video. I'm in the middle of studying for a test, if you can tell, on my desk, but I'm going to do a simple video. One of the suggestions that someone left in the comments and the other one, I'll put that here, which is basically how to stay organized at MIT, or at least how I personally do it, because everyone has their own way, because everyone learns differently. So I guess for all my technical classes thus far, I've used just a solid notebook, like a normal college-ruled notebook. I personally like it because, I don't know, the pages are big, you can draw in them. They have a nice little pocket for keeping lecture notes and stuff. So yeah, I either use college ruled or graph paper. Usually graph paper for math classes or any like thermodynamic type things where you have to draw graphs because my lines get really wavy. I can draw freeform, but I can't draw plots. Go figure. So for my HAS classes, I use a smaller notebook usually. I tried using the big ones, but instead I like using the mini like composition books or little ones, mainly because a lot of my HAS classes are really discussion based, or like come up with ideas and write something. So like, for example, this is comics, and so I take down notes if it's like, oh, there are useful critiques or any tips that I think are useful or will help me when I'm writing my next thing. And then also for HAS classes, I've taken to using like a folder type thing, because there are a lot of readings and a lot of papers that I have to bring in, kill trees, print out. So it helps me keep those. So I put this week's papers in the folders, bring them to class, make sure I don't forget anything, and it's been working pretty well so far. So this is what's in my room. It's a little disorganized right now, but basically I have like one chunk per each class. So like, this is stage design, this is 706, this is video games, this is comics, and this is like my Europe extra stuff. And this is just how I keep all the stuff, all the papers. Sometimes they're binder clipped together like that. I don't know. As far as keeping my life organized, I guess, I'm a huge fan of calendars and planners and things. I've been trying to switch to a Google Calendar, but it helps me remember to write things down, so I still have this guy. But basically it has one side with just the days and things that I have to do, and then another side with like my to-do list for this week. Checking off a to-do list is really rewarding for me, even if it's something like print out readings. Like, it's sometimes hard to stay motivated, or I just freak out at the number of things I have to do and like go into panic mode. So the fact that I can check off individual things and be like, no, I'm getting things done even though it doesn't feel like I'm getting things done, is really motivational, really beneficial for me. And as a fan of calendars, I have two in my room, plus my planner. I have Women of YouTube, typical for a vlogger. I also miss my dog a lot, so I have a Beagle calendar. It's really nice to be able to look anywhere and figure out what day it is, because I'm so bad at keeping track of dates and times and everything. They just don't stick in my head at all. As for what other people do, it depends entirely on the person. I've seen people use accordion folder type things. Up there are a bunch of accordion folders. I don't want to pull one down, they're so organized, but they just have like a lot of different slots for different papers. I use them to keep old tests and anything that might be useful in the future. I've seen people use those to separate their classes rather than like my desk rack. Plenty of people here take notes on computers or on tablets with some apps that allow you to use a stylus and write digitally. For them that works, because then they can transfer them from tablet to computer and keep it all backed up and safe. For me, paper works best, because then I'm not distracted at all by the technology, and I don't own a tablet because I don't think I have a use for it, really. And I don't want to invest in a piece of technology that I'll only use for note-taking. But that's just me. So I guess the best advice I can give is figure out what works personally best for you. Don't be afraid to experiment, because like in high school I was that person with one binder for every class and like labeled dividers and very specific orientations, and here I found that was just way too much effort to maintain on top of everything else in my life. So yeah, figure out what works for you. Don't be afraid to experiment, especially if you're like a freshman, because that's the time you experiment with everything from what note-taking strategy works best. I know people who never took notes before MIT and still take very scarce notes just because they learn by absorbing information. I'm not one of those people. I'll edit this quickly and then post it and then get back to work and focusing and stuff. I'll try and come up with a better video next weekend. There's an independent comic fair and maker fair in town, so I'll probably bring my camera to one or both of those and talk about it. Yeah, next week's gonna be better than this one, definitely. See you later.